Imagine this. You have moved to Germany from your own country, you have slowly started to settle in, you've got a place to live now, you're done with all the initial paperwork hurdles, and then after a long wait of 1 month, you get your first payslip. But as soon as you open the payslip, you're clueless what's in there. Well, been there, done that. The German abbreviations and all the jargons and the complicated calculations makes it really difficult for a new person to understand the salary slip completely. However, at the same time, you need to understand what is getting deducted from your well-earned salary and what for. So in today's video, let's break down a typical German payslip and let's look together into the different components in it. And I hope this will help you make a better sense out of your payslip. But before proceeding further, one little disclaimer. The components in your salary slip might differ a little depending on the job contract you have or depending on your company. For example, if you have a restricted stock units component or stock options or any other bonus in your payslip, then please know that that's according to your job contract. But in this video, you will get a basic understanding of what are the common deductions that's there in every payslip. With that said, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please do stick around to view some informative content about life in Germany and Europe in general. I also make travel videos around Europe and about finance, jobs, visas, etc. Also, please do consider subscribing if you enjoy watching this kind of content and want to follow more. For a better understanding, let's divide the German payslip into 3 sections: the top, the middle, and the bottom part. But instead of me blabbering about you too much, let's get into the system and see what are the different components and what do they mean. With that, let's look at the different details in the top portion of the payslip. As you can see here, I have numbered the different layouts in this section, and that is because all of these layouts contain the different kinds of data. As you can see, the first numbered portion over here, it contains the personal information about the employee, and the section with the marked number 2 has some sort of address over here. And the 3 section, it contains about the presence of the employee. We'll discuss about that in detail, but just to give you an overview. And the 4th one is for any additional details. So let's go through the sections one by one. The first number section contains the employee information. As you can see, the personal number is nothing but your employee number in your company. Geburtsdatum is your date of birth. The StKl class, if you're unaware what a StKl class is, I have made a separate video on the German salary. Go check that out and you will get to understand who falls in what StKl class and why. Apart from that, if you have any kid, then you get some exemption on the tax, and the number of kids will be written in this specific section. And then confession is nothing but your religion. And apart from that, if you have any tax-free allowance per year, then that will be written in this space. Apart from that, this section also contains the information about how many tax days or the social security days are accounted for. So normally it's 30. The Steuertag is the tax days, and the SV tag is the Soziale Versicherungstag, so that is the social security days, which is normally 30 again. And this BGRS, PGRS actually determines what level of contribution do you have towards the different social security deductions. Apart from that, as you can see here, you have the social security number that will be generated for you once you are registered in Germany. And Krankenkasse is your health insurance provider. As you can see, this person has Technische Krankenkasse, the TK, which is a public health insurance again. So all these informations are present in this first section. Now moving further, the second section has the address of the company itself. As you can see, I have the fake company over here, and the address of the company, and this is the address and name of the person who has this payslip. So all this information you can find in the second section. And the third section over here has the details about the employee's presence in the company. So the Eintritt and Austritt, this is basically denoting on what date you have joined the company and on what date you have sort of left the company. The Steuer ID is again, once your tax number is generated, that will be populated over here. And this section, especially in my company, and I know many other people, this is normally not filled out because these days the company use the different softwares to track the presence of the employees. So otherwise, if this is present in your payslip, this basically tells you about, how many days in a year you have for your leaves, so the earned leaves, and how many days you have already taken, how many are left, etc. And last but not the least, the Hinweise zur Abrechnung. This is any additional information about the payslip. This might contain how many hours in a week you are working, or if there is any cost center details, that also goes in here. So that kind of sums up the top portion of the payslip. Now let's move into the middle portion of the payslip, which is the most important one and of the most interest to all the employees. Now the middle section of the payslip normally contains three informations. One is the salary information, the second your taxes and social security deductions, and last but not least, the netto. That is the amount that's paid into your account. So to get started with the fifth section, this basically have line by line breakdown of all your incomes. That can be any pension allowance, as you can see, any other bonuses such as your stock options, your restricted stock units, or any additional income that you get from your company, and the brutto salary. So this figure that you're seeing over here is the brutto salary, so the gross payment that is there on your contract. Now the section over here, the sixth numbered section, this gives you the information about the income tax and the different social security taxes. Those are deducted from your salary. So as you can see here, the Lohnsteuer, this basically means the income tax, and this is calculated on the basis of your gross salary here. So as you can see, the salary and the pension allowance from this payslip, this is added over here, and on the basis of that, the income tax is calculated. Now, depending on your Steuer class, this amount might vary. And also, if you have any additional bonuses and stuff, that will also have a component that goes into the income tax and other social security deductions as well. So in addition to the income tax, you can see we have something called as Kirchensteuer here. And this basically means if you're part of any church group, then there has to be some tax that will be deducted from your monthly salary slip. And beside that, we have something called as Solidaritätszuschlag. This is something called as solidarity tax. This is taken from all the employees who are in the western part of Germany, and this was a tax which was imposed during the reunification of Eastern and Western Germany, and so for the development of the Eastern Germany, all the employees are contributing something from their payslip. So that basically sums up the income tax. And below that, we have the different social security deductions, which is basically divided into 4 parts. So the first one is Krankenversicherung, which is nothing but your health insurance deduction. So The health insurance and any other social security contribution is paid 50% by the employee and 50% by the employer. So whatever amount that you see over here, this is just the half of the monthly expense that goes for one employee. So if I see the Krankenversicherung is 350 here, that means my employer is also paying 350 and the total cost of my health insurance per month is 700 euros. Next component in the social security deduction is the Rentenversicherung, which is basically the pension insurance. So this is something that will be paid to you once you are above 60 years of old. So yeah, for that you are paying this insurance contribution in advance. The third component in this section is the AV-Beitrag or the Arbeitslosenversicherung, which is the unemployment benefit contribution. So, for example, if you happen to lose your job, then in Germany, you get some amount paid by the government, and for that, you put some contribution from your monthly salary. The last component in this section is the Pflegeversicherung, which is the old age care insurance contribution. So when you grow old and if there is a need for you to hire someone to look after you, this is the contribution that will be covering the cost against the old age care. So adding all of these together is, adding the Lohnsteuer, the Kirchensteuers, solidarity tax, and all the social security contributions is the complete amount that will be deducted from your gross salary that was over here. And yeah, as you can see from the Gesamtbrutto, that is the sum of all the incomes that you had from your employer. These amounts are getting deducted. And in this seventh section over here, you see this Nettoverdienst. This basically tells you how much you are going to get into your account. So that is your net salary. As you can see, this figure might not be 100% accurate, but it normally comes around 40 to 45% of your brutto goes into the deductions, and you get around. Now coming to the bottom part of the payslip, here you can find the final salary or the net pay till date. So the left part, as you can see, is listing all the Gesamtbrutto, that is your gross pay so far in this year, and then what is the income tax you have paid so far, and what is the church tax if applicable, and the solidarity tax, and if there are any other components to your specific payslip, then that will be listed over here. And this details all the different components of the social security contribution that we just discussed in the middle section of the payslip. So the till date contributions all are listed over here. And as you can see on the lower part of this section, you have the bank account number to which this payslip will be given out to. Also, in the belowmost section of this payslip, you have all the different abbreviations. Those are sort of explained over here. So if you want, you can take your time to sort of translate it and understand what exactly the different abbreviations mean. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the German payslip. Lastly, I just wanted to point out one little thing is that there are also some insurances which are not part of your payslip, such as the liability insurance, which is most advisable to take in Germany. And if you have a lawyer insurance, then all of those are not part of your payslip, but they need to be taken privately. So that's it for today's video, guys. And I hope you found this information useful. Please share this video with anyone that you know might be in need of seeing this, so that it reaches just more number of people. And if you enjoyed watching this video and if you found this information useful, then please do not forget to give me a like, and also please do consider subscribing to my channel and hit that bell icon beside the subscribe button to stay updated with my new content. Till then, cheers.